Check this out.
What?
I'm heel striking. Does that make you cringe?
Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't.
Really?
I'm gonna tell you why it's not your biggest problem. Science-based, as usual.
Salut, this is Stéphane from Safe Motions, and on this channel we talk about running injury prevention, and that includes running technique. So feel free to browse around, there might be things that are of interest to you. I have a question for you. Multiple studies found that elite runners heel strike. So do they all have really bad form? Let's dive in and see how that applies to you. We're talking about long distance running, either on road or on trails, because sprinting is almost like a different sport. So sprinters out there, I'm sorry, feel free to browse around for other videos. Heel striking is when the front foot lands with the heel first in your running stance. It's had a really bad reputation. It's meant to be the root of all evil and all running injuries. The theory is that by hitting the floor first with your heel, you're like putting on the brakes. And all the ground reaction forces, all the impact from the floor runs from the heel all the way up to your lower back. But actually, not really. Consider these three things. Heel striking is dependent on your speed. The slower you run, the more you're likely to hit the floor with your heel first. We're more upright when we're just jogging, and it doesn't make sense for us to jog on our tippy toes. Just like walking, it's not really natural for us to walk on our tippy toes. We're hitting the forefoot first. In this situation, the heel striking is absolutely normal. And then there's this study that came out in 2017 that found that whether you're a heel striker or a forefoot striker, it's the same number of injuries. Now, my last point before we move on to what I think is the real problem. You can absolutely heel strike without hitting the brakes. As a matter of fact, if you heel strike, your heel hits the floor first, and then your foot kind of rolls towards the front and transfers the impact from the heel to the front of the foot in a smooth way. You get more time to absorb the shock, and that's a really good thing. Ha! Heel striking also provides less of a strain on the calves and the Achilles tendon. So if your calf and your Achilles tendons are weak, either genetically, me, or just physically because you're weak, me, you might be better off transitioning to more of a heel striking pattern. So what's really important, in my opinion, are two things: overstriding. If you're heel striking and overstriding when your leg is too far in front, especially if your knee is straight, then you've got that leg that's extended in front of you like a stick, and you've got the heel that's presented towards the floor, then you're putting on the brakes. And then the forces go all the way up to your lower back. That's bad news. To fix that, you could think about increasing your cadence. Video about that either up there, here, or down in the description. You could also think about increasing your stride properly. Same thing, video here, here, or down there. So what's important is not really how your foot lands, but it's where it lands. Does it land too far forward, or does it land right underneath your center of mass, which means sort of right underneath your hip? If you have a friend, unlike this guy, then have that person film you from the side, then you can see where your foot is landing. And that's what you need to work on. If you're overstriding, try and fix that. But here's what matters the most, in my opinion, is that you press that like button. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, do press the like button. But also, what is the intent of your foot landing on the floor? As soon as you've put your foot down towards the floor, you want to push back so that can propel you the other way around forward. The intention of the foot hitting the floor is that drive backwards. Think about moving your foot with that intention. Push back, don't try and reach forward. If you do that, you're a lot less likely, whether you're heel striking or not, to actually hit the brakes and hurt your joints. What matters is the direction the foot is going, which is backwards. So if you're a heel striker and you're injury-free, don't worry too much about it. It's not that important. I'll have some exercises in my next video to work on that intent of the foot as it pushes back and thrusts you forward. So I hope to see you there. À bientôt.